actor, and other urban legends. Penny Gould.
We all know how the Cinderella story ends. The prince places the glass slipper on her foot. It fits. He carries her off to his castle, where they are married and live happily ever after. Or do they? Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, I am going to share with you 3 insidious urban legends of love that, if not carefully guarded against, will kill any marriage quicker than Kim Kardashian. The oldest of these is the happily ever after legend. 1 year into the marriage, the prince confronts Cinderella. Another bill from the royal shoemaker. I swear your shopping's gonna break the kingdom. What do you need more shoes for anyways? Your glass slippers go with everything. Cinderella replies, a princess can't be seen wearing the same old thing all the time. Not that we ever go anywhere. You used to take me dancing till midnight. Now you just sit around watching the jousting channel. And speaking of sitting, would it kill you to put the seat down on the throne once in a while? Now I'm sure I'm not the only one here who shares Cinderella's frustration. When I logically explained to my husband that I bought a new purse, so of course I had to get new shoes, he just rolls his eyes and mutters something under his breath about Imelda Marcos. I swear, the man is just asking for a stiletto to the forehead one day. You see, in marriage, expectations of happily ever after are simply setting both partners up to be disappointed, disillusioned, discouraged, and possibly dismembered. Because there will be days when you will want to kill your spouse. And I am not talking about a quick, merciful death. I'm talking about a violent affair. Squeezing and shaking and eyes bulging. And as gratifying as this may be in your dreams, you really should resist the temptation to make it reality. And you can start by lowering your expectations. Knowing and accepting that your spouse will drive you crazy will help you to deal with those times in ways that don't involve trying to hide the body. Unfortunately, a key marital survival strategy is typically sabotaged by the second common urban love legend, which has its roots in a devious movie called Love Story. In the movie, a young wife is dying, and when her husband attempts to apologize for an angry outburst, she stops him, saying, love means never having to say you're sorry. Really? Anyone who plans to spend the rest of their life with another person needs to know that love means always having to say you're sorry. If you're a man, it's pretty much a daily requirement. Get up in the morning, have breakfast, and apologize to your wife for everything you were about to do and say that day. Don't bother trying to figure out what you did wrong after the fact. Just assume it was all wrong. For women, it's a little more complicated. You see, when I tell my husband, I'm sorry, everything hinges on what he says next. I need him to immediately tell me those 3 little words that all women want to hear and will make everything okay. I need him to tell me, I'm sorry too. I don't hear those words. Make way for the woolly mammoths because a new ice age is descending on our house. However, we wouldn't have to apologize to each other quite so much if we simply took more care selecting a mate in the first place. According to a 2010 study, a whopping 66% of us have been duped by the third and perhaps most destructive urban love legend and believe that somewhere out there we all have a soulmate I don't even know what a soulmate is, never mind where to find one. The closest I've ever come to finding a soulmate were the Dr. Scholl's comfy fit gel liners for my shoes. Forget about trying to find your perfect soulmate. Start looking instead for your perfect cellmate. After all, the ideal marriage really is a life sentence with no chance of parole. So choose your cellmate wisely. One day, ladies, that Fabio that you married, oh, he'll still have long wavy hair, but it'll be gone from his head and growing instead from his ears and nose. One day, gentlemen, it will be -40 in January, and she will insist on sleeping with the windows wide open because she's 50, hormonal, and having a personal Chinook that would melt the snow off Mount Everest. And if you even think about turning up that thermostat, you will lose fingers. Do not mess with a crazy menopausal mama. But eventually the day will come when you will realize you don't recall the last time you wanted to kill your spouse. In fact, you don't even remember where you hid the shovel. You will realize that apologizing doesn't require as much jewelry as it used to. And in spite of all that hair coming out of some pretty crazy places, that old goat can still get your engine racing. And you will realize just how lucky you are to have found someone crazy enough to put up with you. And perhaps that is the real fairy tale ending after all.